It's been a while since I did one of these, but I'm back with the character history. But before we begin, I found something interesting that a user Kinga posted. Like my alternate channel MMC and HTF Amnesia Database Series Amnesia Analyses, she also does Amnesia Analyses videos, but in Spanish, but that's not why I wanted to talk about her. 3 weeks ago, she posted a video which was a animated version of the HTF pilot, Banjo Frenzy. At the end of the video, we got a promo trailer for a series called Happy Tree Friends, Fracture. The premises for this is unknown, but we saw the attires for Nutty, Mime and Handy. I will also include the Discord server for this series in the description so you can follow along the production progress. Link to your Twitter will also be in the description, and when its first episode comes out, I will watch it, and maybe make a MMC version of it in the future. We'll make a MMC version of Full Metal Alchemist, whichever comes first. Now, on to the first character in this list.
Ready?
Now before we begin with the history of Winter, I would highly advise watching my MMP Update 9 video that talks about the Nemal grooming scandal. I talked about a lot in the video, and I'll also say that characters in the MMCX HTF multiverse are different than their real HTF counterparts. Also, I said it a gazillion times before and I'll say it again. Winter in MMCX HTF does not date Snowers, nor she has any sexual relationships with him. Snowers is with Giggles, and that will stay that way. Anyways, Winter was created by the deviant artist known as Pumpkins and Ink, or as we know her as, Winter Chilled. Winter is a character from her upcoming series Lone Park, which I think never became to be. The creator, as a joke, made a Happy Tree Friends version of her. Winter is known for being regularly used in the ML series, No Blood Allowed. Though her creator has taken a liking to Happy Tree Friends and will featuring her more in upcoming works, but not anymore after what happened recently. She was also seen in various Get-On videos by Skaggles, which is our next subject. I bet Winter, the user, is having never-ending nightmares from ML grooming her, and my side to this conflict is basically neutral, because I use both Snowers and Winter in my series, but they hardly interact, besides the Quickie Giggles' secret power, but that was more focused on Giggles turning into a goddess and destroying Solaris. Besides that, she appears as a character in Freshman Adventures, only to be killed by Romeo. I know the prologue wasn't released at the time I was writing this script, but it's on DeviantArt. She also appeared in HTF Survivor to help and support Skaggles, only to be eliminated in episode 11. She returned along with Skaggles, Pierce and Mime in episode 18, the same episode that saw the debut of the spirited evil Cuddles, based off of the Reddles character from various Sebastian Rodriguez shorts on Amnesia and the angel form of Anais Watterson. Winter in MMC Cross HTF, she gains an additional skill to her character, and that is the power to control ice, ALA Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat, and she uses this in many ways. In combat, she has similar moves to Sub-Zero when it comes to fighting. Aside from flash freezing opponents, Winter also has the ability to instantly conjure up an ice statue of herself to act as both a scapegoat and a landmine of sorts, as any who touch it instantly flash freeze. She has created many different kinds of ice constructs for offense and defense. Such ice constructs include swords, daggers, hammers, axes, spears, shields, walls, spikes, statues and more. She is one of the characters that are more oriented on defense thanks to her ability to counter attacks by freezing melee attackers who come into contact with her, and being able to create several defensive ice constructs that usually freeze on contact, such as icy orb traps, ice clones, ice barriers and ice armor. In non-combat, she also can create ice sculptures, cause snowfall, and other stuff. But when someone gets hurt, she can also heal them with a healing ice power, although this ice's color is green instead of blue. She takes those a Ranger 1 Ranger more for in the future. Her design being an all-pink version of her normal clothes. Funny enough, Winter has a slight British accent in some cases, which is a reference to actor of Catherine Hillard, Catherine Sutherland, who is both British in the Z Ranger 1, along with being the Pink Turbo Ranger for the first part of Power Rangers Turbo, including the movie, and the Pink Mighty Morphin Ranger after Kimberly Anhart retired in Season 3. She would be replaced by Cassie Chan in the second half of Turbo. She was also seen in the legendary battle, the finale of both Megaforce and Super Megaforce, although it was under the Super Megaforce banner. Her last known appearance, other than archive footage in Dino Thunder and Dino Fury, was Dimensions in Danger, a Super Ninja Steel crossover episode, and the biggest PR crossover since the legendary battle. She was the Pink Turbo Ranger in that episode. Joy and her former teammates, Rocky DeSantos and Tommy Oliver, who the actor for him, Jason David Frank, sadly died from suicide on November 19, 2022. It was initially reported that Jason had been unfaithful in their marriage, which resulted in an alleged divorce and his subsequent suicide. Tammy, his wife, later clarified that this wasn't the case. She confirmed that, although a temporary separation between the two did occur, it was actually due to the recent suicide death of their daughter Shayla. The couple had been separated for months before the two ultimately decided to reconcile and go out on a date. TMZ had reported that the two slept in different hotel rooms due to their divorce, with other hotel guests later filing noise complaints against them. Tammy later clarified that she and her husband always slept in different rooms since the beginning of their relationship, with the noise not being any fighting, but fun and joyfulness. Tammy was in Jason's room to help him sober up before heading downstairs to get snacks. When she returned to his door 10 minutes later, there was no response. After the police was called, they opened the door and discovered that Frank had died by suicide. It's unfortunate to have a life taken away like this, and I hope his family will remember him well, as he joins Tutran and Pudamagasida, also known as Trini Tang and Shane Clark, as members of the Power Rangers of Heaven. Rest in peace, my dude. What? You think this is the end? Not even close. Let's move on to Skaggles. Skaggles is a peach-orange squirrel with a brown scarf, orange coat, and a splendid-like tail. I don't know why he has a splendid-like tail, but I'm not the one who designed him. He also has a black nose designed after what a real squirrel's nose looks like and has a head marking similar to Nutty and Giggles. He first appeared in the sketch and comment sections, where he rages over mean and disrespectful comments, even seeing a comment calling him fake news, like what the 45th president of the US, Donald Trump, would say. He has appeared in the following videos, and they are, in order by release date, 200 subscribers, where he wears a Donald Trump Make America Great Again hat, and is smoking a cigarette. Quickie, I'm now better than 480p, where he's wearing his scarf over his face, and that video was just an update video, kind of like my MMP update videos, and the video ended with a view of a park bench at night. He also said that it was a test to see if he can make more high quality videos. If you're wondering, the videos after this are all in high quality. He appears next in My Exciting Life, where he works on his computer for 19 seconds, and seems very tired doing so. He was also tired and have a hippity-hoppity Easter everyone. A cameo by Eric Pridge appears in the next episode with the song Call on Me, which the version used was the radio edit. He also makes low-budget videos, like what was released on April 21, 2017. He also watched the Bill Nye Sex Junk musical, which was a YTP of Bill Nye the Science Guy. His computer also was named Chip after the animation called My Computer. His life is terrible, and to show it, here's why. His house burned down thanks to his cat on May 10, 2017. He lives in his truck most episodes due to being homeless. He also rages when he loses subscribers, as seen in My Subscriber Bots, when he doesn't save his work and he loses his hard work, which happens to most people, including me, and even his job sucks, which is at the supermarket with an unbearable boss. He even has nightmares of darkness, as seen in his 2 nightmare videos. He also is an alcoholic, since his father was one, and the Call on Me video was even banned in 244 countries, except the US. He dressed up as a mudkip at Halloween, only for the HTF version of Filthy Frank to prank him. He also reacted to the atrocity, otherwise known as the YouTube 2017 Rewind. He was also attacked by a bear and has a crush on a girl he met on the road when a stray cat crashes the girl's car. The girl's name is Chestnut, by the way, and has a brother named Hazelnut. He has an alternate design that debuted in his Thanksgiving 2019 video and also appeared in a New Year's 2020 video and an Easter 2020 video, which was at the height of the coronavirus pandemic, hence the name Easter Quarantine Special. He last appeared in a video where he watches creepy whitey kids cartoons and a video where he looks like he's tripping on LSD. His most recent video is where all the canon HTF character caused chaos in a store called a white Asian bear, who is like the Nazi soup guy from Seinfeld, banning everyone from the store, and that guy also carries a shotgun which is always loaded. He also makes YT shorts, mostly involving Cub and Giggles. But the short with Sniffles and Nutty called Playing with the Demon Core was the inspiration for the beginning of the 19th episode of MMC Cross HTF Season 1, Corrupted Future. So to recap, he lost his house, he works at a dead-end job, he lives in his truck, he has nightmares almost every night, even one that involved an evil version of him carrying an axe. This could also be the inspiration for one of my unfinished animations, The Ultimate Frightener, which I created my version of Evil Skaggles, which is my evil alter ego without the green iris eyes, and just white eyes, and this art which was based on the thumbnail of the video, Skaggles Nightmare 2. So would this transfer to MMC Cross HTF? Well, yes and no. He doesn't work at the supermarket, and instead works as a news anchor at the GBS network in HTF City, HTBS 11. If Sino's a news anchor starting in the episode Clean Warfare, which a script will be the next thing I will make for the wiki, as I mentioned that I would do the scripts for the base episodes, holiday specials, love bites and kringles on my wiki in MMP Update 8, and I only done episode 8 and episode 9's scripts, which I had to change the base articles to go along with the script. Also, I've completed the video for episode 8 and that will release sometime in late 2023, early 2024, after I release Break 1, Light Begins Anew. He also reports at the supermarket bombing where my character was taken to the hospital with 3rd, 4th and even 5th degree burns, like what happened to Microsoft Sam in Looney Tunes intro bloopers 215, Crisis in Blue Pearl in Part 1, which those episode, and every episode of other Megaman series, such as Funny Science, CBS Color ID bloopers and even PBS bloopers, were combined into one big movie, made by user Santiago Revicali called Megaman the Movie, The Evil Beings Strike Back. Its teaser trailer, which was based on the reveal trailer for the Gundam movie Mobile Suit Gundam, Char's Counterattack, based on the original 80s series Mobile Suit Gundam, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam and Mobile Suit Gundam ZZ, and was a culmination of the 14-year rivalry between the characters in Hero Ram Char's novel. The Gundam suit designs were later improvised into the crossfire armor seen in the movie, Megaman Chronicles, Crossfire, which released in the same year as the 40th anniversary of the Gundam franchise, which started in 1979, and was a Japan exclusive for many years until finally being brought over to Western countries in 1994, the same year Mega Man 6 for the NES, Mega Man X2 for the SNES, Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy and the Ruby Spears Mega Man cartoon released along with the widely panned Mega Man Sakura for SNES. The trailer itself, unlike the Char Counterattack trailer, is in English, and features the voice of Robosoft 3, which is a robot version of the SEPI4 Microsoft mic used in Windows NT 5, before being replaced by SEPI4 SAM in Windows 2000 and then SEPI5 SAM in Windows XP. That trailer, and the Char Counterattack 1, inspired the second trailer for MMC Cross HTF Universe, a series releasing Christmas Day of 2023. The Dave Madsen film was a film made to honor Dave Madsen's 10th anniversary on YouTube. Other films he made were the films Television Escapes the Blue Mountain, Television Gets Old and the final chapter of the Fugitive Television saga, Dave Madsen's Fugitive Television, The Rise of Evil Ashtu. The poster for The Evil Beings Strike Back inspired the poster for the Season 17 arc, True Love Never Dies, Revelations, which, like Genesis, was changed from its original SMG4 plot. This TLND will be instant based on the later seasons have Madsen's LT intro bloopers, mainly episodes 241, the beginning of a new parody up until episode 250, the grand final parodies, Dave Madsen and Friends Save the World. Part 2. Back to Skaggles, and to recap, again, Skaggles is a lonely and chubby squirrel, though he can start out optimistic, and is slowly growing annoyed and sad with each passing day. He works in a retail job, and is constantly stressed. This squirrel likes drinking either out of boredom or to make himself feel better. He has a lonely life with several catastrophes taking a mental toll. His house burned down because of his cat, he lives in his truck, he has a retail job which is constantly stressful, and he feels like everything sucks. He also drinks alcohol and is a fat slob. He has a PC laptop named Chip and met another squirrel named Chestnut in Skaggles Crush. He has recently been dating Nina, but in most cases, like HTF Survivor, he really dates Winter. He gains a rhinomorph future and has a similar attire and personality to Dominic Hargan from, you guessed it, Jungle Fury. Being one of 2 rangers, along with RJ, to have an actual animal name instead of the color of the suit, which is mostly white, aside from the Spirit Rangers, of course. Now before we move on, I have something to tell you, and that is that the next 2 characters are characters that I had to watch an entire series to get any info, and yet I haven't done that, so the next 2 sections might be shorthanded, along with the final section. Anyways, next. Anyways, next before we continue, I would like to bring up something. At OCC, I made a video called How to Make a YouTube Video. I used footage from a Dave Madsen intro, urinating trees video, a chief equation on how to lose a Super Bowl, based on Tampa Bay's Super Bowl 55 win and Brady's 7th ring, and one of my own videos, which I think was episode 1 of GX03, along with Skaggles' Nightmare 2. Here's the clip I had to record. Credit to Skaggles for this clip.
But wait, I'm a fat, disgusting piece of trash who works at a dead-end job and lives in his car.
And here's the audio from my cancelled project.
But wait, I'm a fan-base of Root Steve Sources who works with a dead-end society and lives with his wife, who is a whore.
Now with that out of the way, let's continue on. Eva is one of the main characters of the Rex and Him Extreme series La Guerra, which means the war in Spanish. The series is also known as HTF Amnesia Fan History. As of 2023, the first video was released August 25, 2020, with the Megaman song Monster. The version that is used is the Dotex remix, which is the most common remix of the song, but I prefer the original better, so don't hate me for my opinion. Anyways, the video is 48 seconds long, an understatement in length for later videos, as some videos can be as long as 7 minutes, but are as short as 48 seconds, although that was only the first video, and some trailers are also as long as episode 1, so I might include them as well. The plot of this episode is that a pink and purple porcupine scientist, or Ada, created biological super weapons for the soldiers to use on the Dark Descendant War, especially Splendid, who is the main antagonist of these videos. I'm surprised he wasn't the main antagonist for the Vanilla Amnesia series, because he was only for episode 2, but the antagonist in episode 4. Speaking of the next episode she appears in episodes involving labs and robotics, but before we go on, let's talk about episode 0. In the video,
Próximamente cómic de la guerra parte 0. El inicio, fans de Amnesia de Sebastián Rodríguez.
which I would call the War Comic Part 0, beginning of the end, she appears 33 seconds in, as she appears lying on a bed, before she wakes up, and sees that something is going on outside. She then sees Splendid going to investigate, like what happens in part 1 of HTF Amnesia. The next part, called
HTF Amnesia, fan cómic La Guerra parte 0, El inicio, serie original de Sebastián Rodríguez.
she goes to put her clothes on and meets up with a blue porcupine to help rescue people from getting infected. We also get introduced to the White Rabbit with sky blue goggles similar to Davis Matamaria from Digimon Season 2, which I watched when I was young. I also saw the 2000 Digimon movie, which was consisted of 2 smaller films that debuted in Japan. The movies are our War Game for Season 1, and Hurricane Touchdown, or the Golden Digimendals for Season 2. In fact, everything, even the poster, inspired the fan film called Megaman Chronicles 2000, which, like Digimon, also consists of 2 shorter films, but for the MMC and Next Generation series. The episodes are war games for MMC, and Storm Fury wrote for the Next Generation. However, the Digimon movie had 2 short films at the beginning, and the MMC film doesn't include those. Instead, it starts with a brief introduction or film to the MMC series and Next Generation series. But anyways, the rabbit is named Clayton in the official MMC Cross HTF canon. We're also introduced to a rabbit with a sieve, who I named Ante, a green squirrel named Rex, among others, Ava, Rex, and the blue porcupine, who I named Bold Salzega Activators Pillars, who causes the possession of this fox scientist who is named Alan. As chaos continues, Eva gets on her computer, only to have no signal. As Splendid gets possessed, Bold plugs in the connection to help Ada, only to be blown to smithereens by Splendid moments later. Do you call this a sacrifice? I think so, and thus, she begins creating the super weapons for the government, ending the episode. She didn't appear in episodes 2, 3, and 4, but those were either military heavy, or the battle against Splendid. She only appeared in a couple frames in episode 5, seeing what damage Splendid causes to the super armor. Also, Clayton gets possessed as a sacrifice and blows up the escape train. Speaking of trailers, episode 6's trailer has a cameo from a character we already covered in part 1, and that is Crazy, as they were put on a mission to find Ada and save her. The footage from said trailer appeared in the actual episode 6. Speaking of which, these soldiers and scientists also captured the Kryptonite, Splendid's weakness, and chaos escalates. Also, when Clayton has a moment to see what he has done, he rips his hand into his chest and crushes his heart, killing him. Also, Crazy dies, and Ava knows now what needs to be done. Part 7 introduces us to the robot clones of HTF characters, first Langy, then Lumpy. These beds seems to be created by Ada, and at the end of the episode, it seems like someone recovered Clayton's body, along with the damaged Dante. The two people who recovered Clayton look different than the Dark Descendants, and they are subjects of the Shadow Architect project, started by both Sniffles and the Ruthless Scientist, or Cassidy for MMC fans. Again, Eva knows now what she must do. Rex, who we'll cover next, will first appear in the Part 0.5 trailer. Episode 8 starts the tradition of using custom thumbnails to preview the episodes. Anyways, Clayton and Dante were revived as Shadow Architects. Even though Ava didn't appear at all in the episode is action-packed as it is. Same with Episode 9. Episode 10 gives a flashback to before the war, and for Clayton, the reason he's fighting is because the resistance group killed his girlfriend. Speaking of the Resistance, they end up capturing Ada, stealing some weapons in the process. Also, this rabbit general guy reminds me of Alan the Cat, by Faith Allen MSKULL 2019, who I blocked for insulting some of my DA followers. Also, the orange cat is also named Alan, and seems to be the HTF version of Dr. Octopus. As the new season begins under the name Logware 2, we continue the story of Ava being captured by the Resistance. She had electrical devices put on her, and if she disobeyed her captures, or escape, she would die. She creates a robot clone of Splendid and it attacks Rex. Take note of this, as this will also come up again when we cover Rex, even the part where the robot almost kills Rex. The last video she appears in for the Rex and M Extreme channel were visions of Ada, where she visions have upcoming events, including her death by Nutty. Speaking of Nutty, in Amnesia 6.5, it was confirmed that the Rex and M Extreme series was considered canon, much to my surprise. Anyways, when Nutty attacks the military, destroying helicopters, Eva was the one to stop him, but when she asks Nutty to release her from this misery, he kills her with his candy blade, which is similar to the powers used by Alex Mercer in Prototype, all but conforming the sources I mentioned in Amnesia Analyses Episode 1. The episode, Bio Nutty, ended with Cassidy teaming with Nutty to help him end the disease once and for all, also conforming both an episode featuring Banjo, a character based on the Banjo Frenzy Lumpy, or Dino Lumpy, as well as Amnesia 7, as we see Flippy climbing out of hell, which he was sent by Zeg at the end of Amnesia 6. In the MMC Cross HTF universe, she appears in Freshman Adventures Prologue as one of the 4 scientists, along with Ash, Lola, and Carl, who would have a more significant role in a later season, aka Season 4. She was killed by Jill, along with Ash and Lola at the end of the episode. She also appeared in Quickie 4, The Not-So-Subtle Truth of Spiders, as she appears with Rosalina Ayuso carrying a Lumpy who had his chest slashed open and with his ribs sticking out on a stretcher. This model is based on a piece of art I made with Jared, Elisa and Lily. Also, did Jared kill Lumpy? I don't know, but this was based on a piece of art created for Flippy x Flaky all the way by Red Dragon Sushi, featuring the Flippy and Flaky's kids he created, Cuddles, Flicky and Prickles. In fact, Prickles being a spy was the inspiration of Elisa being a spy since Season 8. Although Cosmic Fury continues on from Dino Fury and doesn't use anything but the Zards and monsters from Kiranger, Eva gains the CZ Blaster and Leshy Qtama from Kiranger. Her attire is based on the default Kiranger jumpsuit, but having the color parts of the suit to be pink, like the character Raptor Type 283, who was the last of the main Rangers to awaken, but the 8th to join the team. The reason why Cosmic Fury continues on from Dino Fury is because of an executive decision made by Hasbro to feature original costumes instead, with the main reason being toy design. Bennett himself also did note that difficulties of developing stories for 12 Rangers, hence why only the Zards were adapted. Anyways, next character, gosh darn it. Rex is a green squirrel with a black and white shirt and square specs. He carries a big ass buster sword similar to Cloud Strike in Final Fantasy VII. He's the main OC of Rex and M Extreme. He first appeared in
HTF Amnesia, Fan Cómic La Guerra Parte 0, El Inicio, serie original de Sebastián Rodríguez.
He appeared in the episode like I mentioned previously, shocked about what is happening. He next appeared in
La Historia de Rex La Guerra Parte 0.5 próximamente,
which was a trailer for a episode that didn't come out, since the comic stopped production after this trailer. He got possessed in the trailer, as well as episode 1.5.
Historia de Rex HTF Amnesia Fan Animation La Guerra Parte 1.5.
This episode describes the events that happened in the comic trailer. He fights a pink skunk, only to get possessed by the Zelgo virus. He defeated the enemy and told this Lavinia girl, who I think is a bear, to run away before she gets possessed too. The military rescued her, as Rex continues to fight on, carrying this heart-shaped necklace with a picture of what seems to be her girlfriend. Also, is it just me or does this girl look like Dale? It's probably just me. Also, does the end of this episode remind me of what happened to Lumpy at the end of Amnesia 1.5 Don't Feed the Dog? It may be a coincidence. Oh, before I forget, here's footage of what I mentioned when I covered Ava. Like I said before, Eva was captured by the Resistance. She had electrical devices put on her, and if she disobeyed her captures or escaped, she would die. But what I forgot to mention was that she would be electrocuted if she did anything bad. Also, we see what happens if this happens one too many times, or like I said, if she betrays the Resistance. The general presses a button and it sends a message to the neck restraint, causing her head to explode, like that one track in Cell 3 that killed slow-ass motherfucking Jeff's wife Lynn, as James A. Janus said it best. Now, her job was simple: track down the Dark Descendants and eliminate them. You may be asking, how could she track them down if she can't leave? Well, remember those robot clones in Part 7 of Season 1? Well, she must create new beds to help the Resistance track down the infected beings, but not Zegna, since Flippy is doing that job for himself since Zeba made him, especially Sniffles, kill his girlfriend Flaky, and only revenge is on his mind. She starts to get to work on building the robot, combining elements of the remaining Dark Descendants, mainly Disco Bear, Handy, Mine, and, of course, Flippy. When he completes the bed, she sends it with other beds to the battlefronts, setting the events of Episode 1 of Season 2. Speaking of Season 2 Episode 1, prior to the episode's release, there was a Valentine's special, showing why Rex is committed to fighting for his girlfriend. Also, special cameo by Yoyo and his new GF Maria, as they get possessed. More on that when we cover Yoyo next. Also, another Ava cameo, with what looks like a blue fox, or cat, or whatever. Back to Season 2 Episode 1. Ava, controlling a splendid robot, causes it to fight Rex. Rex fought it and damaged it too much, causing it to explode and brutally damage Rex. Episode 2 called
HTF Apocalipsis 2, 3 parte 2, Despedida de Rex HTF Amnesia Family,
shows that Rex survived his fight, but also destroyed his sword. But, now, he realizes what he truly fights for, reigniting the fire within him, and joins several other infected beings to fight to survive. Also, the credits showed some events in future episodes, or previews. I certainly have no idea. Also, we have another Black Light District song in the series. First, God to Get Out of Here in Episode 1.5, and now Clear Skies in Episode 2. Both are amazing songs, and I recommend you guys to listen to them. Hashtag not sponsored, sorry not sorry. Anyways, he has yet to appear in the MMC the 10th HTF series, but he is known as Petronich Yipuful Painrounder vs. Popinker in Ray Future. The attire is similar to Keiko Osaka's attire, which is the base Popinker attire, also used by Sakuya Hikaru and Tosuke Samiyaji, also known as Petron Nigu and Patron Senhal respectively. Well, on to the last person to discuss, which is Yoyo. Man, this is gonna be tough to discuss, but let's go. Yoyo is a light brown bear with a gray coat. He has an interest in martial arts and is one of the top officers in HTF City. He also owns many classic cars, like in most arts, and has a girlfriend named Jillian. She was originally a blue fox, but she was too similar to Alex HTF's OC Elizabeth, so she had several redesigns recently, mainly by me and in Supreme. So apparently, Colonetcher had huge problems about his OC, Jillian. He and Alex HTF had a little bit complicated conflicts about comparing Jillian, Colonetchers, to Elizabeth, Alex HTF's. As artists, maybe we have no idea what is going on till we find out, so Madman HTF gave him and others an idea on giving Jillian an Alod glow up. We found out that Elizabeth was released first before Jillian. Colonetry didn't notice about Elizabeth's release and he didn't meant to copy his OC due to their character similarities, which we and others understand their situations. So before she sketched out designs and think what will she looks like, she tried to find any Blue Fox related HTF characters so she won't be so scared if she accidentally stole their designs. She had little bit inspiration from MLP Generation 5 fan designs found in Pinterest, which also gave her an idea on changing a bit of her fur color and adding a cute hairstyle so Yoyo/Colonetcher won't get difficult doing new Jillian arts. So she showed her two design concepts of Jillian to Czar Slogs, Xander, Heather and Carson's owner, server for the votings. The rest of us has finally decided and they picked the first design, which is this design. Hypersamuster Art says that it was easy for Yoyo to draw her, and the rest of us has the same reasons which she agreed. So she sent the final design to Colonetcher in Discord, and he is comfortable with the new Jillian now, as Alex HTF accepted, but we don't know if he has not forgotten the old Jillian, but she gave Yoyo/Colonetcher the whole assets of her. She She tried her best to think about Jillian redesign, so she added a little simple clothing since most of her OCs have complex clothing, so why not giving a neat casual clothes? Everything was fixed there, and Colin was hopefully happy that we helped him fix the conflicts. However, I was the only one left out of the conversation, and I was the one who made her an Arctic fox, with a shirt and her old color scheme and a yellow scarf. Also, Snin Supreme's design looks a ton better than my basic design, but my design was only meant for MMC Cross HTF, not for anything else. Anyways, he published his bio for his character on December 12, 2020, and he looked different than his final design, which debuted in the art world of Drunken Master on December 26, 2020. Also, his first art was a design of the Mitsubishi Pedro 2003, released in March of 2020. He is also a massive Amnesia fan, as seen in most arts, starting with Hyde, released January 16, 2021, which was remade on June 22, 2021. This scene was inspired by the 2017 movie Bleeding Steel starring Jackie Chan, which Yoyo is actually based on, according to this quote from HTF Survivor Episode 2.
Well, at least I am more powerful than you, considering I'm pretty much Jackie Chan and everything but name.
Oh, burn.
His attires and when they debuted or so. His normal attire and police attires I already mentioned. His Kung Fu attire first appeared in Karate and Kung Fu released on January 9, 2021. His all-style clothes art released June 23, 2021, and I'm using this as a reference for later designs. His Mitsubishi Motors racing suit, based on Jackie Chan's attire from Cannonball Run 2, debuted in Yoyo Mitsubishi Motors Racing released on April 8, 2021. Colin was a big fan of Jackie Chan, and his art show it. His vintage suspenders attire debuted in Yoyo 1940 style released on May 8, 2021, and his Dragon Lord attire debuted in the poster for said movie in HTF style, released on May 22, 2021. Also, this was the first time I see a completely normal zebra in an art, and that was the inspiration for Infected Zebra being an L form for Justice in MMC Cross HTF, starting in a proposal and a crossover, the 6th episode. Some of the cars he owns are 1983 Mitsubishi Starion Turbo, 1977 Dodge Monaco Inspector Police Car, 1949 Pontiac Chieftain Deluxe 8, among others. He also recreated a behind-the-scenes scene where Jackie Chan is standing next to the Cannonball Run 2 set sign. Here's the actual picture for reference. I believe that most arts featuring him as a cop are directly based on events in the HTF Amnesia universe, including his infection, which arts on Yoyo's infection and being a dark descendant started with the I Need Backup art released on August 20, 2021, which that along with other circumstances inspired James Lynch's Elgo-virus infection in the other side of the story, which episode 1 script is done and production will start sometime between now and next year. Also, another prototype-based art for Amnesia, along with the Zeta poster, which was based on a comic cover for the comic, created by DC and Wildstorm Comics, and this was issue number 2 released in July of 2009. Again, Prototype is a origin of the Amnesia series. He has also created his gender bend version and his baby version in arts released on September 1, 2021 and September 12, 2021 respectively. Both arts inspired by Haru Otaku 12, now known as Toteam 4XT0 Kid, who has been very controversial. Thanks RMX for Life for Bruno. ZDT 500 also inspired him to do the OC as other species art category, and Snin Supreme inspired the OC and Modus category. ZDT 500 also made the DT arts, based on the art scene in the Happy Tree Friends illustration and artwork book, originally released in Japan in 2015. It contains many pages with a lot of pictures of the characters with different looks and doing different things. Some images have been used for the merchandise, DVD covers and some from different episodes, but others appear to be more interesting, like the turnaround art and original pictures, which these DT are actually based on, like I said. He also has a girlfriend based on his IRL girlfriend, Lideka Beladawa, named Maria. She is also a fan of Amnesia, like Yoyo. He also has partners in the police force, like Haru, Ren, and most recently, a white cat named Emily. He appeared in Amnesia as well as several other fan animations, mainly by Rex and MX Dream, as I mentioned before. He also appeared in MMC Cross HTF, mainly HTF Survivor, as well in Ray Future, where he's known as the Gold Zeri Ranger in Ray Future. His attire is a black and gold version of his normal attire, and the reason why I gave him those powers is because of another martial artist and main Power Rangers character Jason Lee Scott, voiced by Austin St. John, who recently had some legal issues that we won't talk about. Don't want to go into a rabbit hole that I would not come out of. Anyways, that's all for this episode. Next time, we will cover Jillian, Ale, Jordan Kane, the Kaplan Boys, PD Leopard, and the Xander Red Panda herself, Yirmi. Part 4 will consist of Bella, Larry Ferret, Noah the Stoat, Regma, Logo, and his sister Lega in an all-exclusive Redman I'm Disney special. See you guys then. Bye.